Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Occultist Anonymous, as we venture once more into a sea of stars. And before we get to the disastrous revelations of what has happened in the city of Neo Elysia, in the absence of our heroes, let us once more thank everyone that helps support us, those at Roll20, as well as everyone on our Patreon. Special thanks to Adele, Alice, Al, Alexander, Alpha Wolf, Alsrit, Bernie, Buck, Chris, Doc, Emil, Ethan, George, I'm the Real 06, James, John, Josh, Camo, Cat Feathers, Klaus, Leroy, Melissa, Milo V3, Moku, Mozart D minor, Noctal, the other guy, Perry, Foog, Porter, Puppeteer, Riafio, Ryan, Sean, Shiksara, Thomas, Toast, Verhext, Vincent, Vortex Falcon, Why Gender When You Can Serve the Iron Pyramid, Sultan, and Aethernalis. We always support your. We appreciate your support as always.
I'll support their support. Absolutely.
Yeah, we support your support. We will not financially support your support. That I think is illegal.
Yeah, I think that's called money laundering.
Yeah. Correct.
Look, let's open a pizza joint.
Not gonna lie. When I found out that money laundering did not actually involve the usage
washing
of a laundromat, I was a little upset.
Yeah. But sometimes it does.
It does, but not the actual use of the washing machines in said laundromat.
No,
sometimes it does.
I mean, yeah, the trope of money laundering being a laundromat, that's what I was referencing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and sometimes...
Yeah, not actually physically washing the money.
But sometimes they do.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Why?
If you're getting new bills from whatever thing you're doing. Yep.
Yeah, to reduce your disappointment, it has happened. Nowadays, people do all kinds of silly things that are obviously a front. But in the past, right, they'd have these laundry facilities, and sometimes they'd need to launder the money, especially with all the cocaine on it.
That's what I always thought. That's why they were washing it.
Yeah, sometimes they would wash the money. It's cloth. If you have a gentle cycle, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make it a lot more crisp, too.
Yep.
I was at a pharmacy the other day getting my COVID booster. They got a new wave of those, y'all. Check them out if you
check that out.
Yeah. The person in front of me paid with $100 bill, and the cashier was like running through it.
Yep.
And then the guy was like, "Do you ever find fakes?" And she's like, "Oh, honey, I sure do." And she's like, "This is my favorite one," and just hands him this extremely fake $100 bill. And he's like, she's like, "Just feel it," and he like hands it over to me too, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's just like actual paper." And then he like holds it up to the light. He's like, "Oh no." She's like, hilarious. "That's my souvenir." And I'm gonna think about this like 70-year-old woman that works at CVS for a long time about that.
I just love that she just has it at the counter.
We had like a couple of GameStop.
It was like taped next to her station.
That's
like
great.
On the little wall, like next to like a picture of her like partner or whatever.
I legit held one up to the light once, and when I brought it back down, that guy was out the front door. I was like, "Bro, you could have taken this. I don't need it." But yeah, we hung on out and that became a training tool.
Else. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care if they're dumb enough to take this thing with a Andrew Jackson watermark.
That's what happens.
Jackson just got a little aggressive. Tried to take more land. Won the $100 bill.
He was just greedy.
Yeah,
that's it. You know, no other dislikable traits. He just wanted a little too much.
Yeah. The Trail of Tears was his grief of not having enough money.
That's right. He just needed to learn to share when he was a kid, and things would have been different. And nothing to do with it.
That's probably not wrong. Yeah. Oh Lord.
Anywho,
hey, see you stars.
We do play tabletop games here on this channel.
I was gonna say
we shot the shit for like 20 minutes before going live, so like I don't know why the hell I'm still in it, but here we are. And where we are is back in the city of Neo Elysia, in the last remaining human city a
Yes.
floating human city in the, what did I end up calling this area?
Last Bastion?
Hmm?
That's our spaceship, yeah.
No, like the
No,
area of
the
sea,
Argo.
like between
Oh,
like
down
Australia
in,
and Georgia. Like yeah,
When we were saying Australasia?
Yeah.
something like that. I lost I know I have the actual term for it written down somewhere, but notebook is missing. Problem when you have like 17 notebooks around the house to scatter thoughts into when they happen is that
Then there's
you gotta
Everything
go
was scattered.
collect them. You gotta
Yep.
collect them up every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
But we return from our about 3 or 4 day journey back from Jupiter onto Argo, which had damaged impulse drives. Just really trying to not say engine for other things that aren't capital E engine. And we left off last session with a flurry of messages and things arriving to our pilots of various factions within the city, clamoring, and not just factions, but like what you might call friends and like acquaintances and stuff like that within those factions, and trying to basically recruit you to, hey, this is the situation on the ground. There's been political instability. The mechanics faction and the sort of pilot selection / religious faction, the oracles, are at basically war. And there have been especially what seemingly some religious extremists that have like Molotoved some buildings in the city, and things are getting a little crazy. Obviously, a large portion of the city's troops are on the Argo, so they will be like deployed to remedy some things, but we know how that goes. And so you four were sort of quickly shuffled back to your sort of gilded cage of your rooms, and told not to worry about it. But we all know you're about to worry about it.
We about to do a lot of worrying.
My people are being oppressed. I come.
You do know that a lot of the like religious faction- zealotry, there you go, has been I think especially once you get within like, you had some messages coming in, but once you get within like the actual like Wi-Fi, like the actual city network and stuff, there's like loads of straight up propaganda using your imagery
Yes.
as like the
Of
chosen
course.
one.
That's not on.
Yes, so good.
It's all right. You all
It
don't
needs to
understand.
happen. Yeah, so Janice would look at that and sidle up the Malphus with a smirk on her face.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm thinking?
I mean, there's probably a couple of different things you're thinking, but you want to just tell me?
All right. She closed her eyes
Lily
and takes
gets
a deep
this.
breath. Yes, she closed her eyes and takes a deep breath and said, I did agree to be more direct. This will not aid you while we are here.
No. But you better believe I'm going to use it.
I'll be more direct. If you lean in too far, you will lose yourself. It is too volatile for this to be merely a casual thing you can do right now.
No, I agree. But if they want to use me as a puppet, they want to put me front and center, they want to put me on propaganda. Well, if I get in front of a mic, I'm going to say what I'm going to say.
I think that's the thing, is they don't want to use you as propaganda. They want to use your image for their propaganda.
Right, exactly. So out of character, Malphus is like, remember, he was a revolutionary. He was a, member of the counterculture. And so far he's been playing their game because he's locked up in a gilded cage, but you're going to use him and you're going to put his propaganda up and say, look, here's our hero, here's our messiah, here's our whatever terms they're using, and stuff is going on, you know what? Maybe I sneak out. Which actually I do want to point out to Chris, just because the character hasn't come up, but I imagine Stolas, the head of security who's kind of in charge of keeping Malphus. Yeah, okay.
That is probably one of the first obstacles you will deal with if you wish to leave.
Oh, which reminds me, we're at 0 stress now, right?
You should have the same stress as you had from last week. Because
Okay.
This is the mission.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Tailing
right.
off of-
Okay,
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, tailing off
We
of the
did
down
engagement roll. Figured it out.
That's right.
Came down.
We do need to do an engagement roll.
That's what's next. Yep. Okay, that's right.
Real
So-
quick, one last thing that
Mhm.
Janice would say is, remember, most captive birds think that they choose how they're going to sing.
To be blunt, Janice, I've spent a lot of time thinking about a moment like this. I am not about to squander this.
Right, you're just gonna lean in and whisper it to Janice, standing up to authority, as a reminder.
All right. So, engagement roll. We got our questions.
Yeah.
We start with 1 dice out of always having hope. I wanted to say out of sheer luck because that's the Blades in the Dark one.
Oh, right.
What? Let me ask you, as a group, what do you think your purpose is going to be in going out into the city and finding out what's happening and stuff like that?
I want to find out the truth. Because, like, also from what I had been, the information I got when we were on the ship coming in was, I found a lot of half-truths and things that hinted at cover-ups.
I mean, isn't Lily herself a cover-up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then, yeah, we have the mechanics who called me and let me know about this horrible uprising, and on the surface I don't have any reason to disbelieve them, but then, like, we found the internet videos where someone is like, well, was this staged?
Right.
And it's
Yep.
like, okay, well, what is the truth? So that's what I'm going for.
Soraya's goal is to provide Janice and Malphus with as much time alone together doing things as possible.
Sarai's over here like, you know what would make people incredibly aroused? Adrenaline. Oh my god. Okay. Well, on that note, is the mission particularly heroic or noble?
I mean, I think for Malphus it is, because like Malphus is legitimately like, he is willing and has always been willing to be a leader for the people, because he does not care for how this government is set up and how it does things. And this is an opportunity for him to do something like this. Yeah, he's an asshole, but he, as we've discussed, out of character, yes, he does actually care. And if he's got this opportunity, you know, this is his shot. He's gonna take it. And again, what's the worst they're gonna do? They're not gonna get rid of their 25% of their pilots.
Yeah. You have to imagine there are more pilots in the pipeline currently, but like you are the functioning ones right now.
Exactly.
It's all right. So we'll give you +1 die for that.
Awesome.
Does the mission's goals or methods reflect the worst parts of the protagonists?
I don't
Goals or
think so.
methods? I mean,
I would argue that it does for Malphus.
yeah.
Yeah, that was my thought too.
I was gonna say,
Especially since you've said like I'm gonna use this, like that sort of line you've written of being this like quasi demigod almost, or willing to like skirt the line of that. Like I think that's a -1 there.
oh yeah.
Back down to 1. Is the mission following through on details from the protagonist's investigation? Yes. Are the protagonists acting rashly or on very little information?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, we're
More than
going to
rat,
go get
less
more
than-
information. Right,
it's
yeah.
time for a flashback. But I know it's in doing engagement role, so it would work.
Does the mission determine the fate of a friend?
For some of us.
We don't know that.
Well, you have
suspect it
friends
will.
in the mechanics, though.
I think it definitely will.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The unrest affects people we care about who are on the ground. The
One way or
outcome
another,
will,
yeah.
yes, we're protected. They are not.
And also, like, what's happening in there is a disruption to the job of protecting humanity that you all do. So, like,
That's right,
everyone
yeah.
is at threat because of this, right?
Yeah.
So that's back up to 2.
Because there isn't enough external conflict, we have to create more internal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everyone thrives on tension.
Our troubles from the protagonist's mundane lives getting in the way of this mission.
I don't actually
I don't
think
they're getting in the
so.
way. No, I
Because
think
like our
reason why we're doing it.
mundane pilot lives are actually not getting in the way of this.
Does the missions tier exceed your readiness?
Well,
No.
readiness is into tier 3, so
Yeah, your readiness is baller right now. And then any other elements that you want to consider due to circumstances or events in the world?
I mean, that kind of relies on your knowledge of the situation.
Yeah, I think it kind of covered everything that I had thought of, right? So 2 dice. 2 dices. Whoever wants to roll these.
sure. Also, before we actually get going, I realize we need to confirm our group skill up.
Oh yeah.
that's right. What was that?
Because I was very much on board for Academy trained or a Spirit of Core.
Mm-hmm.
But
Look at it again.
I'm
Series
very open to everybody
creation.
else feedback.
I think I wanted academy trained.
Mhm.
Just a free skill dot for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems good.
Yep. And to perceive, flow, or analyze, just for full clarity. But
Yep. Yep, totally.
is everybody good with that one? Quick thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that would give me a perceived dot.
You said perceive,
Everybody gonna
flow, or
perceive.
Analyze.
Yeah, nice.
analyze.
Sounds good.
All right, cool.
Or 2 flow dots though.
Ooh, that is a question, isn't it?
I can't fit any more dots into analyze.
Yeah, you can.
Hmm?
Go
Mhm.
4.
You can take those transcendent dots.
Oh, as like real dots?
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Yeah,
No,
it's just
you just
they're only available while you're
Transcendent.
transcendent.
Oh.
Right. So it's like, what you gonna do? But yes, now all
Yeah,
my
but-
obligations.
Flexing out and rolling 4 dice as a base on something is pretty good.
Real nice. Real nice.
But yeah, we got the rolly here.
What did I click? I didn't mean to do that.
You're no longer only mortal, though, Lily.
Yeah, I can't get rid of that. That one can't go away. I can make the other one show up as well, but yeah.
Oh, because it's the very, very top one.
Yeah, it's just the base one. You could probably like go into the sheet to get rid of it, but
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
want to mess
all
with it.
that's a lot.
That sounds like asking for something to break.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 4
Um,
flow now for Saraia.
And
Nice.
for Janice, Saraia and Janice flowing around each other in a real harmony. It's fusion time forever.
I love it.
You have a moment of transcendent peace as you consider the acrobatics which you can perceive things, and a small amount of fur pops out on your boots. It's turned into Flo Rida.
Yes.
I was like, he's going somewhere. Give him a second.
Here for it. Here for it.
It was a bit of a trip to get there, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
happy
yeah.
with the
That's
destination.
right.
Nobody, let's be
appreciate
real.
a reach in this household.
Yeah. And let's be real. Nobody is all right with the destination of Florida, though. You got to have very clear delineations here. Florida? Yes.
Annabelle
Florida?
Island
No.
was nice. before a hurricane destroyed it.
So back to Sea of Stars.
Yeah, we're bad tonight. Jeez.
Yeah, we're all over the place. So yes, the engagement roll 4.
The engagement
Like
roll.
real streamers.
Chad, have you heard of this? Have you heard of
Professionals.
Force before?
Oh Lord.
We are professionals at what we do. We just professionally suck and professionally act like a bunch of assholes on stage. So with a 4, we're coming in right in the middle. There's some shit happening. I think for the most part, how about this? There is only one obstacle in front of you to getting out into the city.
Ooh.
And that is you are at the sort of gated entrance to the
Pilot compound.
pilot compound, and stepping out of the shadows with a menacing JoJo's Bizarre Adventure aura is the security guard that is in charge of making sure that Malphus doesn't do anything fucking stupid.
Let's be real. He's making sure I don't do anything.
Can I interrupt with a quick question before we try and do we normally carry like sidearms and stuff?
I would imagine not.
Or would we need
Yeah,
to
I would say generally you do not have anything issued like that to you.
Is it, if we go out, I imagine we have security guards.
Yeah, for sure.
Plus,
Yeah,
we're going to put in a sexy toga.
In times that you have gone out into the city, you have been under
Watch.
processional guard is
Mhm.
maybe the way I will phrase
So-
it.
we don't go
Yeah,
anywhere without a
it is
parade,
an-
basically, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
it is an event. There have been times when you have been able to like go with a smaller group and like,
Less fanfare.
like it be an event at a theater for a pilot to be in the audience, sort of thing. That kind of thing.
Imagine that involves a senior officer saying, I don't like it, but okay, sort of.
Yeah. So yeah, he just kind of steps out, and a big, like classic, just like jackboot, beefy security grunt. What is this man's name again? Silo?
Stolas.
Solus. I was close. Take no solace in Stolas.
This is the demon of knowledge.
Mhm. What do we have here? A few birds trying to fly the coop.
Oh Jesus, that's really spot on today, man. Like coop and like cooped up and like you don't even act like we're free people.
You aren't.
Yeah, but what about the other 3? You're gonna
In-
stop them from going
In
out?
different circumstances, I could arrange for them to go wherever they would like. There's, I don't know if you can see the fires outside.
Saraya's going to give Janice just a
But
gentle
perhaps-
elbow in the ribs.
Perhaps we don't want the only people keeping us as a species alive venturing out into the chaos that is happening in the streets.
And
You could agree that's a pretty smart idea, right?
And you don't think that every single person out there doesn't recognize our faces and would probably go out of their way to protect us? My face is literally plastered on
I've
walls.
seen how your face is painted. You're happy with that?
No, but I'm gonna use it.
And he just like takes that last drag on his cigarette and flicks it. If you're determined.
It's been a while since
Could
we
be.
rumbled. Do you really want to get in my way again?
And he just like full on just like steps into just like absolute like what's it called, horse stance.
Mm-hmm.
Just like full on like squat and square. He is the size of the gate, right?
He's about to practice Hongar? Is that what's about to happen? We playing
Fight,
Avatar?
I guess.
Well, as far as Malphus has kind of clued everybody else into, Malphus, this is a one-on-one ninja fight, right? Like Malphus is ready to take this guy on himself. That said, I have links to Lily, and what is your special thing with links?
You can spin them on anyone.
Okay.
Links to me or from me can be applied to anyone for any role.
Okay.
Would you like a
Great.
flashback?
I mean, I'm very okay with that. Oh yeah, because that's also your specialty. Yeah, absolutely. Malphus is doing this one-on-one, but it doesn't mean I didn't have help from my friends.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, I feel like Lily is probably ready to square up just because this guy is also in my way.
Yep.
Mhm.
Dude,
Makes sense.
I totally want Malphus to go in for this one-on-one, and Lily coming out of nowhere
Mhm.
with
That
the
makes
sucker
complete
punch.
sense.
This is gonna go quickly from one JoJo's meme to the other. It's like you dare approach me, and then it just turns into all four of them just
Stomping
yelling
on
at his
it.
ass. That's what he's here for right now.
Yeah.
we all know this.
So the flashback I'm thinking of will obviate the direct encounter potentially.
Okay. Sure.
If that is something people are interested in, unless you want it to just be a beatdown. What?
I think that's well within your like time travelerness to like
Okay.
have anticipated this.
And like
And
set
it's
off a
also
smoke
kinda
bomb
cool, like-
somewhere.
Yes.
Directorially, we can see this happen and then zoom back,
Excellent.
flashback style, to you having the vision and then going forward with whatever you want to do to right.
Mhm.
Perfect. Perfect. So, Janice and Saraia are embracing, like leaning against a couch or something like that, right? And just having a conversation. And all of a sudden, she freezes for like 30 seconds in the middle of their chat. And, Saraia is entitled to respond however she does. But when Janice snaps back to it, she says, Malphus is going to try and fight Stolas.
News to nobody, by the way. Water is also wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like Malphus is finally going to act on his latent
Yeah.
urges to pound the shit out of Stolas.
Yeah. It's not going to work. I have an idea. I
Go
need
ahead.
your help.
I'm down.
We need to convince somebody to lie to Stolas so that it seems as though Stolas is backing down to give Malphus the satisfaction he wants in the moment.
So if we were actually on a mission
And Stolas gets a call.
and Stolas is just acting a part to reinforce our cover,
Yes.
brilliant.
This is incredible. You. Who in the fuck would you even approach to do this?
There's only
Persephone.
one person I can imagine it would
Yeah.
be Persephone.
Smash cut to like you're coming down from orbit. She fully recognizes that if this had happened in her time, she would definitely be doing the same thing. Yeah, give me a roll of some sort here.
Cool. Sounds good.
This is gonna be a 2 stress flashy.
All right. That makes sense to me. 3
which
stress base,
adds
right?
on to 1.
Sweet. Excellent. Thank you. Put a stress in there already because even if you don't succeed, you take the stress. Yeah. All right.
Can I assist in this?
I don't think you can assist in flashbacks. Is that action? The flashback action itself is a type of assist,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, not necessarily.
Okay.
It's a setup.
That's the simplest
true.
trade. Like doing a 1 stress flashback is generally just like a way to justify giving help. 2 or 3 is where you're actually like doing an action.
We did this thing before. I got you.
I'm fully prepared to take 2 stress to give an assist on this.
If you want to, I'm not going to argue with y'all taking stress.
Cool.
I love it when my characters take stress.
Awesome. And you helped, so that's 2 dice, right?
Because of our thing.
Yep. Heck yeah. Okay, so
Wait, hang on.
I
What
would-
thing?
The series rule?
The
That's
series
what-
rule is
that's
for
kinda
Link gets the
Link
2 dice.
Or
Oh,
okay,
okay.
great.
In this case,
receive and
if you're
extract,
if you succeed, you'll clear a stress because you got to
Gotcha.
help.
That's right. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Sweet.
we have the 2 different versions. Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Great. So, I am thinking that, because Persephone doesn't know that Janice is a time traveler here. Janice is going to tell Saraia because Saraia knows. We need to approach this with Persephone and behave as though we're asking Persephone to help us resolve a problem. And we're trying to coax her into offering a solution that we want her to choose. So instead of acting like it's our idea, we need to prompt her into offering this and making it a mandate based on what occurs to her. I would think flow.
You've set up the scene well enough.
Awesome. Thank you. Great.
Make it some sort of convincing role.
Sweet. Awesome. Great. All right. I'm going to roll flow. +1. Yes. 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 Crit. Started off with a crit.
I'm not saying anything, Chris, but are you prepared for these shenanigans to happen again?
Fool
Okay.
me once.
So yeah,
Chris is definitely
you
prepared.
lay out this idea in such a subtle way that Persephone almost doesn't catch it, and then catches on and is like, okay, I get it. Absolutely, this is a good idea. You understand I do need you all to not get killed out there. Okay, glad we're on the same page. Because and she's like, I saw the look in your eyes when you noticed I had a suit on the other day.
Yes.
And I know that I was prepared to get back in one of those engines because you all were losing.
Yes.
So
It scared me.
I'd like to not have to ever do that again. And if you all get killed in a bunch of social unrest, that's gonna be it for me. I got maybe one mission left, and I don't want to have to do that one. Okay.
I
Understood.
love that. That's such a good line.
Yeah.
I'm 2 days from retirement.
Yeah.
I'm 2 days
So
past
short I can parachute off
retirement.
a dime. Yeah.
That's right.
I'm 2 days past retirement. Oh,
And I don't know if this is gonna work. Sarai's gonna go in for a hug and just to let her know, like, I witnessed that and I know what it meant.
that's very nice. Thank you.
He's a hugger. Just suck it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
And then, yeah, cut back and
Malphus is squaring up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just turn up and I won't make you roll, but like we will pretend you have rolled. I think with a critical success, it's well enough that Stolas is like, it now makes more sense why I made him such a ham in the approach to
Yes,
this.
totally. Squats
And
down.
he's playing a part,
Wata.
and he just like takes the fall, right? Like a crooked boxer throwing the fight, like just goes down, sells it great. Like Malphus has knocked out a lot of people, and he is convinced he just fully got the better of this dude in one go. Just fully like, okay. He like falls, like rolls over, like full on wrestling, pulls a blade, and comes up with like just like bleeding all over his face.
Yes.
To shatter the illusion of wrestling for you folks out there. Yeah, sometimes when the blood would happen, they were doing a tiny little razor blade cut right at their hairline because you bleed a lot from your head. But
Mix
it's
it with
not
the sweat.
precise. But it's not precise, and such folks as like Ric Flair were known to just like do a whoopsie and just full on just like.
Yep.
So yeah, they don't do that anymore for the most part because it's bad. I mean, they really don't.
No, that's true. They're not supposed to, and yeah.
Eddie Guerrero was known for doing it quite well.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, in that case, if he's really into it, I won't even try my perceive roll.
Yeah. It's just like full on minutes later, blocks away. You're just like, that was really easy.
He's never gone down that quick.
And then
Does Stolas have a sidearm?
not on him.
No,
Okay.
yeah, I was gonna say
Because he's been convinced to be in on this plan.
Yeah.
He would not have it on him because he's not going to be that like sort of derelict of his duty, right? He does not want you all to have a fucking gun running around the city.
Yeah, and I'm sure. Yeah, there's a very limited number of weapons.
Yeah, for sure.
This many
Yes.
people, this type of a
Especially
space.
like sidearm type stuff. Like there are like armed troops,
Mhm.
but like concealable weapons and stuff
Yeah.
like that are just not part of.
No one is giving Saraia a gun.
No.
Particularly dangerous to have concealable guns.
Yeah, for sure. So we haven't really talked about the like layout of the city much, but we have talked about aesthetically lots of columns and the sort of electroplaster and stuff like that.
Cyber marble.
Cyber marble, yeah.
Electromaster.
Yeah, and I would say the layout of the city, much like how Athens like rises up the hills and stuff like that, or in other geekery terms, this bitch a little bit Minas Tirith.
Yep.
And the dock of where the Argo comes in is more or less like the Acropolis, like the top, right?
Yeah.
Which I think especially Saraia would be thinking about right now, because now the superstructure of the city finally makes sense, because you know that there are deep things underneath the city, down underneath the water, counterbalancing all that weight of the because like you've got a floating city and you've just put an entire fucking giant spaceship on like as a lever, right? You'd have to have some sort of ballast deep on the other side of it.
Total iceberg, guys.
So with just because you were interested in that, and if you want to make that part of this mission is sneaking into secret places of the city, that's totally cool. But you would have a pretty good idea that somewhere on the far side of the city at the bottom would be where these like decommissioned engines would be.
Dude, how do we feel about the idea that it is very kind of iceberg-esque with like machinery beneath, and where it's much larger beneath? Yeah,
I mean, it would have to be, right?
Right.
I mean, don't we know that underneath are the old mechs?
Right, and that's I think what we were kind of talking about is
Yeah,
how deep now it's underwater, not just
yeah.
underground.
Explaining where in the city layout it might be, because you don't want to have to explore an entire. I mean, this is a like giant metropolis floating,
It's awesome.
right? It's not just like a small city.
You know, I like
or whatever.
I like about comparing to an iceberg, because that would mean that about 90% of the city would be submerged, which means
Which
then
also
there
makes
would
sense
be
tactically.
incredible,
Yeah.
tactically. That's right. And there'd be warrens and passageways, which, and the aftermath of a near apocalypse, right? So just all kinds of incredible things that are happening, possibilities for continued unrest, and just things that people forgot about.
It's where the Skaven are.
Yeah, exactly.
You fucking better hope not.
We can't get away.
Guess what, y'all? Wrath and glory.
Stone in a mech.
This has all been a lead up to reveal. This is actually just a 40K world, and
Watch
you're all
out for the group.
That's right. Thank you, Chris. Exactly.
Oh, no.
These Leviathans are actually just
Tyranids.
This is actually it's a human ranch.
Yeah, fair. I was gonna say sentient demons, but Tyranids also works.
Also that. Oh no.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of both.
Yep.
Really fuck around and get wild with it.
Let's do it.
So more or less, you all know that you're fairly high up the hill.
Yep.
And all of the unrest is downhill from where you are.
Probably
and
the
city
farther down you get, the
spreads out.
less secure, and
Yep. Specifically, you know that like outside of all of the important things that are up further up on the hill, there is like the large plaza at the very bottom of the city where the like oracle ceremonies happen. And even from this far away, you can tell there are like large crowds down there. From here, you can't tell what's happening, but there are like, you can see the light of like torches and stuff. And like, this doesn't make any fucking sense why they're, I mean, obviously they're like, not just like wood being burned.
Right.
But,
Quick question for Chris on,
Yeah.
so I have an idea of Malphus's next step here. We obviously have two factions. Does basically the demographics of the people, and this may be something I need to roll for, fall into you're either one or the other, or is it loud minority faction, and that everybody else just trying to get by who are really unaffiliated? It's something I feel like from
a roll for.
I'm going to throw perceive at that.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
It's a 5.
Okay. Because you rolled perceive, this is going to be how you perceive it, right? It's going to be your take on everything. It might not be the full actual truth, especially on a success like this. You feel like in the time that you have been a pilot, you have seen more factionality ramping up amongst the populace, as if there are people actively working to like recruit and impart partisanization.
Right.
And again, there are other factions, smaller factions, and larger factions, and
you got the folks who are the farmers who are complaining that they're not getting enough support. And, yeah, okay. So very, very, everything's kind of clicky. Okay.
But yeah, especially amongst, I mean, even like in the last few weeks of you being like this sort of propped up as this chosen one speech and stuff like that, like you can see you are smart enough to put together like this is people having an agenda.
Okay. So in that case, out of character, Drew needs to think up a new plan. So if anybody else has something to jump in on, please feel free.
I want to maybe talk to my like actual friends amongst the mechanics folks to try to see if one of them can tell me what is true.
Sure.
Like try to parse out propaganda from what actually happened from people who I trust not to lie to me.
Absolutely. This would be a good time to talk to Melanie, perhaps. Yeah, you make your way down to like the middle of the city, or you have the option of going down to where you know she resides, and she would have, because y'all were shuffled back. It's been a number of hours since you docked, so the rest of the crew and all the troops and everything have disembarked from the Argo, on their, if they're not, well, the actual troops and stuff, they're
shore leave
doing things, but everyone else has got shore leave, right? Essentially, so you know that Melanie's family, it resides at about the halfway point of the city. Like a lot of mechanics, very much like straight up, the city is just lower class to upper class.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stratified socially and literally.
Yeah. It's not. There's no walls, right? It's just how it works.
Like a Plinko, a big Plinko game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll go and find her and try to see what I can, I guess, figure out at least what she thinks is true.
Yeah, for sure. You knock at the door, and you hear like a little slide going, and someone obviously standing on the other side of the peephole. It's one of the pilots.
Just eye rolling.
Bro, Malphus straight up goes, her name is Lily, asshat.
And like this just incredibly large man opens the door, and then like you can see Melanie like underneath his elbow as he's like standing in the door. What the hell are y'all doing out here?
I'm trying to figure out what's happening.
Waiting to come in.
What's happening is you need to get inside this house right now.
Okay. Oh, and I'm definitely like got a cloak or something on.
Holy shit. We are gonna get.
Did y'all all come with me?
court-martial.
Okay.
Malphus
We're not leaving you alone.
Yeah, Malphus is 100%. We are not splitting the party.
Leaving, no.
Yeah, I definitely would have gone out with like a hat and a big coat on. Not just like walking out.
Yeah, for sure.
We're all pulling the Raphael
This man
disguise.
goes from gruff to incredibly worried about his station very quickly. I'm gonna get fucking court-martialed. Nope. You all are not allowed to get fucking Molotoved in my house, and just like goes and just grabs a broom.
That's the only weapon he has.
That's like, yeah. And then just goes and just like stands outside the door. Like on watch.
All right, well, we'll get inside real quick, like. So what the hell?
That's my brother.
Not him. Everything else.
Everything else, yeah.
Yeah. No, hold on. No. What the hell? Why are you here?
My city's burning.
Your city.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think that. Chosen one.
But no, like, do you know what actually has happened here? Because all we can find is bullshit propaganda from both sides. Everything has gone to hell.
I mean, you've maybe you haven't. I don't know. You're up there in the palace, you know.
We've been on a freaking spaceship.
They treat us like mushrooms, man. Ma'am.
What?
Keep us in the dark and fed bullshit.
Okay.
You never heard that before?
No.
Oh. My bad.
I mean, this character has never heard that.
It's true.
Okay, that's a lot. Okay, so this has been brewing for weeks. You haven't been keeping it. Do you not keep up with the news?
They don't let us. keep
We
up
were
with the news.
isolated.
You have tablets. You can. The network is.
Janice Janice holds up a hand and says, they are deliberately blocking the updates.
Oh, okay.
Everything we know we have to dig for, and it's not a lot.
Okay, you gave a speech. We know this much, right? You gave a speech.
Yes.
Did
Okay.
we?
I did.
Okay.
We all witnessed him give a speech.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So that the Oracle faction. And then
Yes.
the mechanics. You see how the key part of this, the overlapping
Yes.
part of this would be the engines
Indeed.
and the people that go in them
Yes.
and control of them.
Yes.
And she like blurts that and then looks around like that might have been a little bit too much. But you know, the city's actively fucked, so here we are. So this has been brewing. People control. You understand this. This has been
Yes.
the entirety of human history. It's why I wanted to be a pilot. Because then you could be one of the ones in control.
Oh, friend, we're so not in control.
Yeah.
Perhaps that is something that the rest of the city doesn't know. Um,
Why I'm
I
out
believe-
here.
I believe those who matter do know.
I mean, that's what.
Those in control know. Those who matter don't.
We
Matter for
are
the sake of this conflict, not those affected by it.
we
Well-
are their sacrificial lambs put inside machines and thrown to fight monsters.
Sure.
Our
Janice.
control is to get in the damn robot or not.
Okay.
Janison chimes
Well-
in and says, if we can be direct about something, the threat to the end of humanity is in many ways merely just a justification for the petty squabbling that we've seen become more volatile here in the city. It
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
actually
sure.
matter.
No, yeah, that. Yeah, I doubt it's even. I mean, I don't think it's technically banned, but, my brother got me this file about a period of Earth history. It was like the Second World War.
Hmm.
I was reading about it. Do y'all know about fascism?
Oh, honey, let me tell you some
It's like-
things.
It's like there was like this list, right? And we've got all of them.
Hmm.
And
Cool.
yeah. It's been tough to I'm not glad y'all are here. This is incredibly bad for me and my family and everything. If something happens to you in our house, like we're definitely just we're done, right? Okay. All right. And you did come here?
Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. Everything's fine. That's fine. We're good. We're totally good.
I needed to find someone who wouldn't lie to me.
Yeah, no, never. No, I've always been brutally honest with how very jealous I am that you got to be a pilot and I didn't. But now that maybe that's not the right emotion for me to be having.
It's okay to have that emotion.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm still
It does
suffering from a
seem
level 1 nerve burn.
It does seem really cool.
I'm just gonna pull up my sleeve and show the after image of the scarring down my arms.
Ooh, that
It
looks
still
like
hurts.
Yeah, but I mean they can fix that up, right?
They haven't.
The one thing they can't fix is your loss of agency.
That's really deep.
Yeah, we could really get into it, or we could talk about the city
Right.
that's burning.
What we
right.
can
So-
do.
Right. So you gave a speech.
Yep.
That's the kickoff. That's where we launched from. Of this recent turn of events, right? That's everyone,
Yes.
the people on the ground then had hope.
Uh-huh. Good. Pointed that was the goal of the speech.
Right, but then that just sort of like a Xanthippe, her whole group, just like with a bucket and just sort of just scooped them all up.
Hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So what was sort of a powerful but small group that had ideas that aren't great for the whole city is now real big. And since they are selecting the pilots, they think they should also be in charge of the engines.
Yeah,
But they
that's a
don't know
no.
how to make them or fix them or anything, and it doesn't make any sense other than just gotta be in power. And it just seems bad. It seems bad. It's bad. Down there, I'm very glad that I'm really good at my job. and my brother is granted higher residence in the city because of that while I'm gone. Because down there, I don't know. Please don't go down there.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely will not.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm gonna call for a group roll here. I think this is going to be an express.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the right one for this. I think you all need to convince her to not
Call security.
important people. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yep.
Like you've got to fight against her self-protective instincts.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
Craig, do you have stuff for teamworky things like this?
Yep.
I do.
Has an awesome ability.
Well, transcended though.
They're transcended.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, gotcha.
That's
Hang on.
right.
I have another one. I know, yeah, that's where transcended.
Okay.
Okay.
Raw express rolls it is.
Well, it's group, so are we
Someone
leading
has
it?
to do it,
Is somebody going? What is that? Sorry.
The way group roles work is someone has
Yep.
to lead it.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
That's fair.
That's fine.
Yeah, so trying to confirm.
I've got 1 dot in express.
Yeah, so do I.
Well, I think who has the least
Or-
stress?
yeah,
Because
Right,
I was
that's
just
the real
saying-
concern.
I've only got 1 stress as well.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And she's your friend, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I
right?
feel like it makes more sense for me to try to
Yeah.
be the one persuading her.
Everyone, it's gonna be a risky standard.
Okay. Awesome.
Straight up express roll.
Sweet.
From me? Or
Everybody.
Everybody.
And then you will take stress based off every, is it 1 to 3?
Yep.
Yeah.
Every failure.
And it fails.
Yo!
Four.
Yeah.
Craig.
Is there a point to taking dice?
Can.
I'll take stress if you fail.
Yeah, I have 0, so I'm going to take some dice.
Oh no.
Wait,
You did.
Wait,
No.
did you count the dice you take?
is that was 0 dice there?
Zero.
Yeah, you rolled
So
0.
you didn't
Yeah,
actually.
but you still.
What did you do?
I have 0 points in express.
I know
Okay,
you
so
said you
you-
were going to take some. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, did you take dice or not?
I did.
Then it rolled 0. That was what I was asking about.
Yeah, what were you trying to do?
Well, I mean, they were both fails, so.
That's true.
But it rolled 2 dice.
Yeah, when you roll 0, it rolls 2 dice, and you take,
You
the,
take the
lower.
lower result.
It's effectively rolling at disadvantage because you have 0.
I did the 1. Oh, okay.
Okay, if you had rolled 1, then you get the 6.
Yeah, so I made the boo-boo. I thought I had the 1, but maybe you didn't.
We'll let Chris decide how this happens.
Chris is gonna decide you don't get the 6 because you rolled 2 and 3. So
Yeah.
That's fine.
if it had been one of them was a higher number, it would come
Saraia is not good at expressing herself.
Which is
Um,
weird, but yeah.
So Lily
She's
takes,
good at empathizing
That's
and
fair.
communicating emotionally, but
So I
she's not
take
good
1
at
stress.
cognitive.
That's fine. I can take it.
and you get a 4 here.
Mhm. Oh, that's right, because it's the single best one applies for everybody. Okay, right.
Yep. Yeah, so a mixed success here. I think the consequence here is that in the course of this it's not just like one moment, right? It's in the course of this conversation. You all start getting the vibe of like, okay, we gotta talk her. She's excited, right? And she's
Mhm.
worried. And I think the consequence I'm gonna throw at you, which someone can resist if they want, is that she's absolutely gonna let people know the second you leave,
Mm.
just to cover her own ass.
I'll be honest. I don't think Malphus cares if
Yeah, I
somebody.
mean, as long as we are
Janice.
gone,
Mhm. That's
and
exactly
I
his thought.
don't. I'm okay with her covering her ass because
Mhm.
this is my friends, and I don't want her to get fucked.
And she's
Well-
going to be communicating over the city network.
If I can, offer a suggestion. Exactly, Chris. Like it is Janice's attitude would be if anyone starts talking about us doing things, it makes it harder for us to do things clandestinely.
Yes, that's true.
The whole point of, Janice's motivation, of course, wasn't to tell Malphus that there's this whole cover routine, right? But Janice would be like, she definitely wants to try and prevent any kind of communication because we have this whole thing that they gone rogue and no one knows where they are.
Right.
Can I try and resist partial?
Is this going to be a social resistance? Would stars be something you could use to resist against? Yes. I'm happy to resist it, unless you would prefer to resist it, Greg.
And
Janice
just
has 3 at stars.
Yeah, I've only got one. And I was going to go for empathy, but
Well, you resist with
Okay,
your
but-
attributes, right?
yeah.
Those sun,
So
moon, or
I
stars.
was going to try and resist with moon. My goal in resisting is to get her 15 minutes, and then she reports that we're heading somewhere that we're not actually going.
This is a social consequence, so it will be stars.
Okay,
And then the group can decide who wants to
Yeah.
resist that.
go ahead.
Cool.
Janice would be best to do that then.
Mhm.
Awesome. I think it makes sense. She's happy to do it. Yes.
Yo, we'll take the
Yes!
6.
You take no stress.
No stress, baby.
Glad you guys are on fire tonight.
Woo, yeah.
You're just warming up, that's all.
Yep.
You take no stress. You realize, like, I think as you go to leave, even, like, we can still have a little bit of conversation. You've, for the most part, gotten a lot better of the lay of the land of what's happening and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Like, it very much seems like the Oracle faction is at fault
Mhm.
Yeah.
here. I'm sure other people are doing bad things, but like
They started it.
Yeah.
We can see who started it.
So and like like that idea of like false flag thing is like most times
Mm-hmm.
covered for being shitheads.
Yep.
So yeah, you take no stress and you kind of catch her at the like as you go to leave, like Lily has probably already said goodbye, and you kind of just like I think this is probably how Janice would approach it, is you just kind of
Yeah.
like catch her on the arm and be like, you'll be fine. Trust in us. You don't need to cover your own ass.
Yeah.
And just that like almost like it's a little bit of a threat, right?
Mhm. Yep.
That's
it's a little bit of a threat,
foreknowledge. Yeah.
but it's like, okay, I guess it was pretty obvious. Which means like and yeah, you can tell me where you go from that.
That's perfect. I think if you're okay with a humorous addition, if Melanie's brother is still standing guard with the broom, Janice would then just look at him and walk up briefly and kind of like try and nudge him over maybe 6 inches and say, "You want to stand there."
Okay.
That's the spot.
All right. Good deal. All right. And they both just kind of like look at you all like, be safe, I guess.
Thank you. Yeah.
I
Thanks. Sorry.
don't really
We
know-
weren't here.
We know that you just the scary one over there just made
Just gonna pull my hat down and stand my collar up and
Malphus is like, "What? My rival? What? I'll scare you. You want to get scared?
I'm the scary.
You want to see some scaring? Let's get
grab
over in here."
Malphus by the elbow and just like turn him, and we're leaving.
We were leaving. Okay, cool.
Stand your collar up too.
All right. Well, I've been reviewing my gather info questions, and we're gonna do some of this. So I'm gonna gather info, and I think this is gonna be leaning heavily on Defy, specifically because I'm wanting to stand up to a bully. It's literally right there.
Mhm.
And figure out the best way to do that.
Totally.
Okay.
That's great.
Like a somebody like causing shit in the city, or
oh well, yeah, I was thinking of like using it of like that is the motivation driving force for me gathering the info. But yeah, actually, if I can find some like straight up like rabble rouser like
Yeah, you can
loudmouth
interrupt
with a
for sure.
megaphone, yeah, I can get information the physical way. That's fine by me too.
yeah, there's I think one main like kind of switchback.
Yeah,
So
very
perfect.
Minas Tirith.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of the only way it makes sense, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
It also means people take longer to get up to the
Yes.
parts.
That's
right?
fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
It just actually makes sense from a defensive.
Yep.
And
It absolutely does.
like yeah.
It's perfect.
Otherwise, you have very steep streets. You have to have like fucking cable cars to
Yeah.
people's houses and things. Like it does. Yeah.
Or
Otherwise,
lots of stairs.
Yeah. Tons of stairs.
But funicles are great.
All of these are reasons why San Francisco is a terrible city.
Wow, he just put it out there.
Look, I've said it about hills. Hills are for defensive fortifications, not for living. It's super inconvenient.
So
Just
bad.
when I was there and I got to one intersection and I had walked up a like 45-degree road to get to the intersection, and then it was 45-degree roads on the other three parts of the intersection, like uphill three ways. It's like I found the place that all our parents were talking about. We walked uphill both ways to school. And it's like, okay. Anyways, back here. So yeah, you just pretty much are like, well, downhill is the correct way to go towards things. And I think once you like kind of pull Malphus away from Melanie's house, I can't imagine Malphus doesn't just like walk with a purpose and take the lead, right?
Malphus, well, especially since Malphus was good doing the propaganda and giving that speech to give people hope. Now he has found somebody has twisted this to their own ends and like, all right, bro.
You have a purpose.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm gonna find somebody who's got some armband and is yelling and screaming and talking pro oracle stuff, and just be like, hey buddy. Tip, well, actually no, I think it's just gonna be, hey, we're gonna talk. Meet a wall.
Yeah, there's like two guys with like big like makeshift weapons, and they're very much in like actual just full togas, right?
Yes.
Like no like futuristic trappings. It is very much this like reactionary back to basics.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Wonderful.
And then like one guy with like a fucking megaphone. Just like, at like the sort of border between like the lower class and upper and middle class city, and he's just like shouting at people's houses like the chosen one has arrived. We will defeat the Leviathans. Like
yes.
yes,
Rally
join us
behind
brothers,
and-
join us sisters.
Yes.
And I think they're so enthusiastic, they just have the volume cranked right up, so all you're hearing, because the microphones are totally saturated.
Yeah.
It's all about the volume, not the message. Yeah.
Yep.
And what you're just gonna roll up and just like through physical defiance find out information going on here. So I like that.
I love it.
I'll take the 5. I'll take the 5. It's not great, but it's a question and a follow-up.
It okay.
Yep.
So you march up and just like grab one dude by the toga and just like throw him across the street. He just kind of skitters and falls and like doesn't fully comically just like roll down the hill, but like it almost was there.
Right.
Like I think Janice especially is like,
so close.
Could have been.
brief period. Yep, in another world.
Yep. That's right.
So the question, what here can be broken? And I'm not talking about this guy's body, but whatever setup, whatever motion that these guys are putting into play, right? This coup engine. Where can how can I throw a wrench into it.
Okay. I think the answer to your question or yeah. The answer to your question is that the social order of the city can be broken. That's what they're doing. And that disruption of their motivation would you'd have to find some way to cut out their knees from underneath them. Which kind of turns into your immediate thought is, I really hope this isn't critical mass.
Right. Humanity is doomed then.
Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if this faction fully took over, would the pilot system still be operational? Probably.
Yeah.
But would it be a very different life for everyone that's left? And even worse than it already is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
Yep. And then the follow-up, how can I gain an edge here?
Ooh.
There are clasps on their like togas that it stands out as expressly ornamental in a way, and it is a shining golden apple.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna take those. Well, and thanks. And like, I feel like Malphus is.
You're like fully kicking these people's ass
Right.
while finding this out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. My imagining is like Malphus is also doing this while trying to keep the disguise in place. But afterwards, like, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the
he came in like Dark Man.
I think the consequence here, just from like these people are no threat, right? You are a trained combat specialist,
right?
Even before becoming a pilot, right? So I think the consequence here is that your disguise gets compromised.
Yep. Yeah, the hat comes off, and yeah. Okay.
There's like fid cameras and stuff.
Less than like a dramatic reveal to a crowd, and more just like you don't like rip in the coat, and you don't have enough to disguise. Like you don't have not fancy clothes to wear. You just don't own them, right? So now you're like, okay, I look like a fancy lad pilot now in the middle of the situation.
Yeah.
You can resist that if you want, or you can lean into it.
No, actually, I think Malphus is going to lean into it, especially because he had a revelation, and yeah, finish the ass kicking, and then meet back up with my surreptitious friends in the shadows here. I was spotted, so we'll probably need to leave soon.
Great.
So they're rallying around the idea of the oracles are important, and they're gonna try and really really lean into that, and obviously they're gonna use a little bit of my propaganda to do that. But we need to kind of put a stop to that. And you can see he's working his way up to say something or do something.
Mm-hmm.
Lily, I need your help.
A little bit. Like gags a little bit, almost throws up.
Like not looking at her. Like, he is looking off just somewhere else. We kind of probably need to prove that the oracles kind of suck at their job. That they didn't catch you as a pilot. and you're
Oh boy.
an actual good pilot, and they fucked up.
Ooh.
And so we kind of need to bring that to everybody's attention.
Yeah.
I'm thinking how we would prove that.
Well, oh shit! I just realized, like, oh yeah, we'll just get all your mechanic friends.
Definitely wiped all of my records, also.
And who are they going to believe? The other faction that's saying the oracles are bad? Fuck. Go ahead, Craig.
I want to. How does she really feel about that idea?
How does Lily feel about it?
I'm
Always for free.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that because I always thought it was bullshit the way that they covered it up anyways. I just literally don't know how we get concrete proof. Like, I can bring you my notebooks.
Right.
But I don't know that anyone buys that.
Janice says, well, we might be able to get the help of the engines.
What?
But also, before we touched on that, Malphus, isn't there something else that you think we should disclose to everyone?
And out of character, Ralph, what?
Janice says, considering that we need to, or you're suggesting that we get everybody to believe that the oracles are fallible and that they are misguided and misleading people, this whole situation was fomented by you leaning into something they said that was untrue. So while I think it would be helpful to share that they were completely mistaken about Lily, I think it might also be helpful to share that they were completely mistaken about what you said.
Oh, yeah, the whole killing. Do we really need to tell everybody that I didn't actually kill Leviathan?
Yes,
okay.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, we'll probably need to do that too.
Yeah.
We defeated it, we didn't kill it. Yeah, okay, fine.
Lily, you know that in your work as a mechanic, a lot of it does have to do with computers and stuff, right? Like, I don't want to just automatically say your character can just be a hacker, but like, if you want to do some computer nerd shit because you've got a background in that, absolutely, like, especially with all your analyze dots and stuff like that, for sure.
Yeah.
So I will say, Lily would feel like if she could get to a data center or something, she could get, like, there's always a paper trail, right? So it doesn't matter how clean they think they made your records, you could find something.
The archives under the city, you mean? Listen, the DM, the storyteller in me was like, well, obviously. It's right next to the, defunct engines.
I had not thought of that. That's a great idea, though. I'll be honest, that's not what I was thinking. I was thinking, so regardless of how you find the information, you all know that all of the, like, broadcast stuff is back up at the top of the hill.
Yep.
So if you wanted to make the entire city know a thing, you do have to get back up and get into some places that are not allowed.
Great,
we'll get like the raid. In. We got to go down, then we got to fight our way back up,
or you got to split up.
Also, that
there are choices to be made for sure. And
yep.
I will say this completely on the table. There are probably clocks going to start happening soon.
Yeah, totally.
And the more things you do as a group, the faster those clocks are going to go.
Right.
That makes sense.
Because there is more than you can do. More happening to cover than just.
Yeah, this is definitely these are the things we need to do meeting, and we can't do them all at once. So, or we rather need to do them all at once.
So how about Janice and Malphus head up to a broadcast area.
Saraia. God damn it.
Yeah.
Malphus, like, not even, like, completely oblivious of that setup, is going, so the two of you are going to sneak past the riot and get
No,
in.
we both have connections with the mechanics.
If you two are comfortable getting down there, I don't mind taking over some, you know, not projection,
Broadcasting?
broadcast equipment. Because, I mean, I got a lot I could say.
And I would say Malphus probably has experience of that, of like pirate broadcasting and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that. He's definitely like some background stuff that you would have been able to do in the past. Just
Oh yeah, no, 100%. He's a calm and cool disc jockey on pirate radio. Yep, shouting out the crimes and fascism of the Last Bastion. Yep.
Shout out to everybody there at the end of the world. You're contemplating the future. And I just want to say, fuck the police.
I feel like Malphus is a little bit more of a morning shock jock than a cool afternoon boy.
Or the really, really
Discord and
late
streaming.
night conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Have you ever wondered what they're really doing with our cereal?
Yep.
How is it colored that way? Mind control.
Why do they need this many colors of red?
Red dye 40? 40 what? 40 deaths a day? Huh? 40 deaths a minute?
Yeah. Little less unhinged, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Cool. Well,
Malphus says, "Yeah, I'm good with that." Janice, Lily.
Janice nods.
Sounds good.
Give Saraia a hug. And I have a suggestion I want to make. Perhaps offer some help for how the split up works. Janice would like to, at that point, then realize, oh, wait a minute, this has happened before.
Okay.
You did a good job, Chris, by hinting that Janice had a wave of seeing Malphus do that in a different timeline, throwing that person, but wasn't catching on because she was a little distracted. And now she realizes, oh, wait a minute, this has happened before. So she wants to search her memory and experience of that and gather some info that then she can provide to the group. If that's okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. So she wants to analyze it, and I will tell you the questions. I guess I'll make the roll first. Let's see. Yeah. Can I? Ooh.
It's going to be risky standard.
Awesome. Sounds good to me.
Which I think you get plus effect
Plus
level.
1. Yes, that's right. Exactly.
Better. So risky, great.
Excellent. Yep.
It relates to Malphus, so you get plus 1 die.
Yes. Awesome. And is it possible to push yourself with a gather info roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Either that or maybe a poison promise. I'm interested in hearing a poison promise if you got one.
About viewing alternate realities? Oh boy.
I can always choose to push myself. I'm curious.
Yeah, the poison promise here is that I will tell you something bad that will happen.
Oh, yes! Yes!
All timelines.
Oh, cool. I like
event,
that.
you say?
I like that.
That's great. That's so good. You view, it puts it in place. I love that. Where like
I think I know what it is.
This
Also,
is so good.
Shout out to Ben in the live chat. How did this trouble start? We gave Malphus a mic. How are we going to fix it? We're going to give Malphus a mic.
That's so good. All right, sweet. Okay, we're doing it. Analyze what happened. Yeah. Take that poison promise. Yes. Let's see.
So that gets you a die.
Sweet. So I got 2 dice bonus. Excellent.
This is
Sure.
analyze.
Yes. Risky, go up to great effect. Not transcendent. 2 bonus dice. Come on, let's do it. Let's see what happens. 6! Yes!
I'll take it.
Okay. Do you want to get your info first, or you want to know the bad thing?
Bad thing.
Bad news first. Always the bad news first.
Yep.
The bad news is
Mhm.
tonight,
Yes.
during this event,
Yes.
it's in different places in the city, in different timelines, but there will be a massive explosion.
Oh, no.
Like,
Yeah.
there's going to be a memorial there afterwards kind of explosion.
Oh, God. Where was it last
and-
time?
What's up?
Where was it last time?
It came from directly, or it just sort of blossomed up out of the Oracle Square,
Whoa. Okay.
like is where the
Yes.
majority
Everybody's
of this whole
piled
crowd
in.
is right now.
Yep.
Yep. That is what I'll tell you right now.
That's
from the
perfect.
Voice Promise.
Yes. Yes. And I know that things change, so that's great. That, hey, explosion's definitely going to happen here. I have no idea where it's going to be. Is that right? Or that I know it's going to happen in the Oracle Square.
You know there will be an explosion.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
You saw it happen in different parts of the city, but
Wonderful.
the like base timeline, if you want to call it that,
Yeah.
Mhm.
is like the worst version of it is going off in the middle of this square
Yeah.
while everyone is there. Like,
Yeah.
just from looking down the hill, you think
Yes.
a good like 20% of the city's population is down there.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, it is a, like, when I say a square, like
Yes.
like outside of like what's the Pope House?
Vatican.
Vatican City?
The Vatican, like the giant square there, when that gets like
Mhm.
completely full up.
Yeah.
St. Peter's?
St. Peter's Square.
It's the Basilica. I don't know if that's the square.
Yeah. Basilica is the building itself.
Yeah. Anyways, pick that kind of thing. Like, you know,
Mhm.
a million people listening to the Pope
Mhm.
speak on Easter Sunday, kind of thing.
Yep.
Like, yeah. That kind of, yeah. And I think like that fully just like rocks
Yeah.
you. And,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So what are your questions?
All right, sweet.
How do
Jeez.
I stop this?
And I don't get a consequence, right? Because
You
I got
rolled a
6?
6. Yeah.
You're good.
sweet, awesome, that's great.
Two
But of course, for
questions and a
Janice,
follow-up.
that's feels like a
You've asked for the
consequence.
consequence.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed. That felt really intense. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't also forgetting about another aspect that she would need to roleplay. That's all. So questions, yes. 6 means 2 questions and a follow-up. So, well, the first one I think is, what do I remember about where the most useful information is held, so that I can offer it to
Mhm.
Lily and Saraia? I would head here specifically.
Yeah. There are like large server database archives.
Bypass all the firewalls, just go directly to servers.
Yeah.
Like essentially beneath the vast majority of the, like we said, it's kind of an iceberg. The vast majority of the sub superstructure is like at the bottom of the city because
they're supercomputers that are being water cooled,
Oh yeah, awesome.
which we're actually testing right now.
are we really?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Microsoft did offshore little server farms that they plopped out, and they're like,
The
all right, let's
saltwater?
see. Huh?
Salt water?
Uh-huh. And because you just put them in a big old container, and they
Yeah.
would like, and the natural coolness of the ocean underwater,
Yeah, fair.
as if we weren't warming the oceans up enough. Anyway,
We-
sorry,
we-
moving along.
We already have a problem with sharks attacking the internet cables. Now they're going to go after the heat in the servers. Dang it, sharks hate the internet. Why would they stop?
Sorry. Anyways,
Sharks are just anti-meme.
That's right.
They know what we've done.
They know what we've done.
All right.
Do
Great.
you have another question?
Yes, I do. I do have another question. What might happen if let's see. Janice thinks it is a great idea to have Malphus reveal the truth.
Mhm.
She's also, however, bound for a number of reasons to make sure that Malphus does not put himself in jeopardy. So she wants to know what might happen if we split up in the course of what we're about to do.
If Janice and Malphus split up,
If Janice and Malphus are away from Saraia and Lily when Malphus gives his broadcast.
Depending on what you view as success,
Okay.
the only paths towards success are splitting up and getting more done at once.
Okay. Gotcha.
But it does put all of you in jeopardy.
Okay.
You are less capable by yourselves, right?
Yes, absolutely. Then let me ask you one follow-up question.
Mhm.
Is there anything that Janice could do to make it easier for the four of them to reunite after their tasks succeed?
Yes,
Mhm.
but it's just sort of a nebulous feeling.
Okay.
You just sort of have this like pulse of connection for the briefest moment between the four of you.
Yeah.
And we haven't gone into like how you see like jumps between timelines and stuff, if
Yeah.
it's like wormholes between them or just visions into them or whatever. But there is like, you for a brief moment can see this sort of emotional space-time weave between the four of you.
Cool.
And it kind of tickles at you for a while, and I think like I will tell you what you're feeling, but you probably won't realize it until after you've split up.
Mhm.
Is that you feel for a brief moment the same connection to your other pilots as you do to an engine when it is running.
Whoa.
That's dope.
That's really cool. Awesome. Okay. Janice feels good then. Other than the fact that 20% of the city's population.
It is a little
going to be
bit
blown up.
bad.
A little tempered.
Do you share this information? We won't
Yes,
go
absolutely.
into a
So-
scene of it, but
Yeah. I'll share it. I briefly want to add a little narrative color. It won't be a whole scene. So Janice is, I think representing it as a kind of like freezing state when there's an intensity of review is probably helpful. So she briefly pauses, but this time she's like leaning on Malphus's shoulder as they're about to walk away. And she comes to and turns around and then shares with Lily and Saraia where the information is best held. And then says, we must check in at regular intervals. That's all she says.
okay. Saraia, that the like map coordinates of the structure that Janice gives you, that spot for where the server farm is essentially also pretty close to where you imagine they would have to have some sort of giant bay for the decommissioned engines as well.
Cool.
And all of it is directly beneath the square.
Oh,
Yes!
Yes! Oh, that's the poison promise. You ignite the engine, everybody gets blown up. Oh, I'm so excited.
Let's start with Lily and Saraia. You have a mission. You have
Mhm.
a fucking situation between you and it.
Okay, so we have to like sneak through a riot.
More or less, yeah. It is. I would say it's not a full riot. There are troops being deployed downhill to like guard against a riot happening. At
Like
least
one
a
or
full
two
civilian.
vehicles flipped over, but they're not actually on fire.
Yeah, there's a couple buildings that have been like, torched and stuff as a sort of like kickoff, but like for the most part, it is primarily currently a big, large, angry crowd doing
Okay.
big, large, angry crowd things, but has not spilled over into abject block by block violence.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Which is that I imagine as a student sneaking out of dorms or whatever, the tunnels.
Yep.
We had these at our college. You could slip down through the
tunnels?
drainage ditch and go through the tunnels.
Yeah, if your school has this,
Don't do this. No.
Covert sliding.
Especially don't do it if you live in anywhere that is like a cold place, because it's probably old steam heating and you will get burned to death.
Oh, yeah, jeez.
But so I'm gonna see if I can find the little tunnels in the warrens to try to get around it.
Sick. Yeah, what kind of role do you think this is?
I mean, that's flow if I've ever heard it.
Yeah, that seems
Conceal
right.
Also,
Oh yeah, no, let's go conceal because I'm trying to sneak. That seems. What are all the stats I'm rolling?
Risky standard?
Yeah, the risky standard right now. I think this is just controlled standard. This is just you finding an entry point or remembering an entry point, right?
Yeah. I've only got one die. When do I get more?
Can push yourself.
Get assist. I don't know how Craig is on.
I think I'll go for push myself to try to.
Yep.
I feel like it's probably physically not that easy to get into.
Yeah, which probably means it's concealed enough to not be super dangerous or super like occupied, covered. So it could take 2 stress to get 1 bonus die.
The worst you run into is tunnel rats. Tunnel snakes?
Tunnel snakes rule!
Yeah, that's
Dachshunds. Oh, no.
Failed.
So, the consequence here, and because it's a controlled roll, it's not going to be bad consequences. The consequence here is that you end up wasting a little bit of time, and finding a few of the entrances that that just like out of sheer bad luck have people sort of around.
Yeah.
After about the 3rd one of those, you're a little suspicious, but there are just a lot of people down here milling around, and like you're still kind of on the edge of things. And there is a little bit of like people that aren't involved with the factions just like trying to like just rubbernecking essentially, like what the hell is going on down there. So from a controlled standpoint, like you now have the option of a riskier roll to like get past these people, which might go more into flow or conceal or something like that.
Yeah. Does Saraia have an idea? Or do you want to still go for this?
I have a contact in the mechanic, Sanya. I'm reaching out to her to see if she's got maps of entrances into the subterranean infrastructure.
I will just tell you she does not have anything better
Okay.
than Lily's knowledge here. You've already found a couple of like the easier entrances. There are probably faster ones or like closer to where you're trying to go ones, but that would
Okay.
require more time on the surface going closer into everything that's happened. So like I said, this is just controlled, so like you have full options here of like sneak in / moving past these people, or going down further for better options.
How about joining the flow of the crowd to make our way there unobtrusively, sort of blend in and swim through the stream?
On the surface through the crowd.
What's
Or
that?
just like
Yeah.
you're talking about getting to like closer to the server farms on the
Yeah.
surface through the
Yeah.
flow, the crowds of people and stuff. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
perfectly viable. You're both, yeah, I'd probably ask for a group roll with it. But you're both at least a dot.
I've got 1 dot if you want to lead it.
Sure. Risky controlled.
This is going to be risky standard.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Um.
Woo! Go ahead and rank your roll, and then we'll
Okay.
talk about what just happened. Okay, a 4.
I was eating the roll, so that mean I take a stress?
That does mean you take a stress. Let's resolve this, and then we'll talk about your clips in a second.
Okay. Because I'll need to make an eclipse ride.
Correct.
Yeah.
How close are you?
That was pretty close.
One.
How?
Craig, this is
You-
a team game. You could have communicated. I
Yeah,
have
that's the thing you
links.
say.
Yep.
Yeah, don't you have links with yourself? You could have prevented that.
I also, Janice could have just been a link to clear your stress. I thought you were low because I asked about when we asked.
Not
Was it?
there.
No, I know. No, I mean earlier. Sorry.
Mhm.
I just meant earlier because I had 2 to help. That was the reason. But continue with the narrative. So.
Yeah, Craig, if you want to engage with your clips right now, we can, but there were ample opportunities for you to clear some stress before this.
Okay, so I would take 2 off using the link.
Because with your downtime, you get 2 for free with yourself.
Yeah.
That's just, and you hadn't used any of those yet because we just started today. Okay, so you take 1 stress. You're just shy. You have two free left. A 4 on a mixed success here. What is I think the consequence here is that I think it's clock time. I think it takes.
I was thinking the
to get to
same.
crowd.
Yep.
And I'm gonna start a clock for. We're just gonna call it the shit hits the fan clock.
Mhm.
Okay.
And we'll put a little 8 here. And it's gonna start with. From a risky mixed success, we're going to start it with 2. So I could have just made it an empty 6, but a 2 out of 8 sounds more menacing than an empty 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does.
You had all this time, but you fucked up. And
That's
yeah.
the theory of those consumer repeat business cards.
Yeah.
2 out of 12. People are much more motivated to complete it
Interesting.
than 0 out of 10. So that's why they start
okay.
you with a stamp or 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Parentheses. Very bad. Excellent. But yeah, you take some time. You're jostled, hassled, have to sneak. You have to find other ways around. Oh, I guess either one of you could resist these consequences. If you wanted to chance the stress, you could buy yourself more time.
I don't know that I want to.
Yeah, I think that's a fair response.
Because I think 2 out of 8 is a mark on the clock, but it's not like
Mhm.
super urgent right now.
It'll feel much worse when it's 6 out of 8, 7 out of 8.
Yeah.
Then you'll resist the consequence.
Oh man, yeah.
Cool. You make your way, not quite all the way to the center of things, but you do find a building that is like most of the stuff here is just like basic housing, universal housing for people. But there is it's marked up as just like a sort of decorative space as part of one of the smaller squares, but is like a maintenance facility leading. It's marked up like a shrine or something like that, and it's and you just get down beneath it and into the. It's literally immediately all the like pastiche of all the electro marble and stuff is gone, and it's just like industrial steel mega complex, right?
Oof.
Yeah.
Raw concrete and
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Viewer at home, read into that what you will.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you have some familiar. I don't think you maybe would have been in this area of the tunnels and connections before, but you have some idea of how they're laid out, and you begin the process of working down towards where are you going first? And are the two of you going to split up?
Yeah, I was like, do you want to stay together, or do you want to go exploring your
How
engines?
curious about these engines is Saraia.
Yeah.
very curious, but there's higher priorities right now.
Cool.
Okay, so we can go to the archives.
That's great. You start that, and we're coming up on 10, aren't we?
It's 9:42, so we can go talk to those two and see them getting up to their broadcast.
Oh, we're already here. I got my feet up on the table. What have you guys been doing?
yeah, okay. I told you to take some initiative with the narration, but not that much.
My bad.
Yeah, so it's a lot easier for you to get towards where you'd like to be than the other two. But at a certain point, like that like once you get up past where the like your sort of palace complex is, that there's only a handful of people that are up there and allowed to be up there, and like there is a broadcast center that is also like directly some of the offices of like the leaders of the city,
right? And we're pilots. We have no reason to be up there. It's not like we have a free access to it.
Yeah. Why would you care? Like, go down and
party it up.
Yeah, party it up. So I will say the sort of what do you do part of this is at some point there's no cover reason for why you should be up here, and you don't have a disguise that will remind you. So
yeah, especially with these people who probably see us regularly.
Definitely know who you are on site. Yes, correct.
Okay, cool. So
yeah.
Flashback scene.
Yeah, if that's possible, if that's okay with Chris.
Yeah.
All right, this is what I offer.
Right
is
go ahead. I had
oh, you were gonna let it? Awesome, go ahead.
I had one.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
I totally
I
understand.
thought you were joking about me getting excited. That's all.
No. I was right there with you. But
both accidentally cancel each other out.
Do two things. Pay up your stress. Cool. So those cancel out. Malphus is he's super confident walking up to the radio structure and everything, all this, the internal government buildings, and Janice is probably like, what the hell? Why? Because like, no, it's because, well, Malphus has got a friend.
Yes.
So, yeah.
What kind of friend?
Yeah. One of those wonderful ladies that he frequently spends time with. Yeah, she's one of the executive assistants up there with. I I will.
It's
I
real
will.
good.
I will happily take 2 stress because that does feel like a real strong move.
I'm gonna say this is a 3.
Woo! Okay.
Woo, baby.
So
Like,
I'm taking
Like with the 3,
mhm.
it is like you're in.
Right, and that's kind of what I was thinking.
In the office, you're in the offices, like within seconds of getting to the broadcast equipment.
Right, now we have to get past actual guards and
That's
stuff like that.
3 stress plus a successful roll.
Sure.
So
I'm going to spend the 3 stress, add that in, and then I'm going to spend one of my connections to Lily. So it's only net 1 stress.
Okay.
So just to talk that through and make sure that was there, and then I'm thinking empathize is just the like, you know.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It's just 1 dot. Or, yeah. 1 die. Ugh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, risky. Yeah, so the big flashback is, you've been spending time with this person. Is it initially motivated by knowing what she does?
No, but I think this is the thing, especially like when we get up and, you know, Janice may ask why he's so cocky. It's because one of the things that he does do is, well, after and you're there and you have pillow talk and everyone knows what Malphus does, and Malphus really doesn't want to talk about what he does. Now he will, you know, engage back and forth, but there's a lot of learning about how things are in the city, and the people who get approved through here really do come from all walks of life, so he gets to you know, view this. And so he maybe frequently meets with this lady now that he knows where she works, but that wasn't the initial.
Right.
So he knows he knows a lot of friends throughout the city, and so he turns to Janice. It's like, no, I know somebody.
Of course.
So in very much a similar sort of vibe to Lily's friend that you went to visit. There's a sort of, why the fuck are you here?
So you know how you kind of like my roguish past?
No.
Yeah.
Not tonight.
Uh-huh.
No.
Yup.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Malphus, what are you doing?
Do you want to know, or do you just want to just let me in and think it's all a fun little prank? If it makes you feel better.
The guards are on a smoke break for about 3 more minutes. Get in.
And like her eyes are closed, and he is like grabbed Janice's arm and hauling ass. You know, like straight up like what's the Tom Cruise bit? Or, well, heck, Han Solo does it. The slide around the corner.
Oh, yeah. Risky business.
That's the one. Yeah. Just sliding around
Can we
the corner.
take our pants off before you do that, too?
Yeah.
I mean, how else was she going to recognize me?
No.
I'm 50?
So good.
I apologize, everybody.
Ash is dying.
I apologize to everybody. I'm sorry. But yeah, no,
You have killed me.
Yeah, I apologize. And so as soon as like he's trying to, very similar to with Melanie, trying to leave as little impact on our friends and accomplices at this point as possible, especially because Malphus has some really close firsthand experience on what can happen to accomplices.
Yeah, that's right.
So for him, it's one of those, I wasn't here, I blitzed past, got past her, and he's just heading for and trying to get past where the guards would be stationed on their smoke break.
Can I ask a quick question? Because what you shared about Malphus is really cool. It seems to me that perhaps the attendants or Malphus might have a good reputation, right? He might be visited more often as a pilot because he so frequently is asking about them than talking about himself.
Yeah, like he He's very self-deprecating when people are asking about him being a pilot. Yes, there is a lot of physical pleasure and like steam that he is blowing off, but afterwards there's probably some guilt. And he's like, okay, well, tell me about yourself. Oh, you're a single mom. Great. Tell me about your kids. And he, I mean, I've mentioned it before. He feels a responsibility. He feels like he should be a leader. And this is his only way to get to know a lot of these real inside things. But it's never people with power who come to see him. It's people who either have hero worship or, hey, this is a good paying job or, you know, any of that kind of stuff. But it's a chance for him to actually meet with these people that before he became a pilot, he wasn't even in the city. So he doesn't have a great view of how people live outside of his gilded cage, except for the people he can talk with.
Okay. So yeah, relatively at the same time, I think these scenes have taken about the same amount of time, right? You get in, you are within the complex of sort of the senior offices and the broadcast station for the city. It's like a big broadcast tower that's like on the like kind of as part of the top that the Argo decks into. The Argo, but like the actual like embarkation place for like people to get on the Argo is several layers down, just because it's so fucking big, right?
Right.
But like the top of this building, like you could, if you wanted to, as a very bad idea, like jump out onto the Argo and like be on top of the ship.
He says they say it's a bad idea, but is it really?
So I think I need 2 different roles here from our 2 different groups to sort of do the tech stuff that you all want to do.
Cool.
So let's go. I think Lily was gonna do it to like the analyze and hacking and stuff to get your info about yourself and
My actual records.
Yeah, if you do really well here, like there could probably be other sort of disruptive in the right way sort of records to be had. I think we can sneak in.
Okay, I've got 2 dice for this. Yeah, I think I'll probably just roll 2.
I can give you a poison promise if you wish.
Yeah, I'll hear it because I do really want to succeed at this.
Okay. Poison promise is you will be discovered while you're doing it.
Which would completely stop Saraia from getting to check out the mechs.
Possibly. Depends on what you do after being discovered. I'm not saying who's discovering you, how big a party it is. It's just at least one person will discover that you are doing this in the moment.
Yeah, I think I'll take that.
Yeah.
Is it risky standard?
Risky standard, yeah. Yeah, you guys have avoided getting into like real bad circumstances so far. A 6!
I did get a 6.
Yes!
So, seems worth.
So in just a matter of, and I think because this is right, the frame of this game is you're making an anime, right? We're all making anime together, and so it's full on just like like blasting fingers onto the
techno
keyboards.
Starts playing in the background.
Yeah, you're like reaching over, and you don't know why these servers have keyboards attached to them. That's not really how servers work, and I'm giving Craig actual physical pain by describing this.
No, it was the finger blast.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't say finger blast. I said blasting fingers. There's a difference.
Sure.
Okay?
I feel like Saraia is being my lookout, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're not NCISing double
enhance.
No,
one keyboard. Yeah.
I saw that. I turned the show off. I used to enjoy that show. I saw that and turned it off. I was like, they do not.
Here. Yeah. So you fully find. It takes a bit of digging, but you're very good at this. You find all of your previous personnel files of you as a mechanic. You see like internal communications of like, how did we miss this? What happened here? There are things with like straight up Xanthippy's like personal email files that like were scrubbed but not well enough, because it's like you can't really delete things. That's just not how things work.
Admitting that they didn't catch this.
Yeah. And then like all of these like redacted files that you're able to scrub off and stuff like that. I will give you the option. Wait, I don't know if we discussed this. Is Malphus's past? I don't think that would be something that would be broadcast as part of you being a pilot, right?
I mean, especially the idea that this is the last bastion. This is all there is. The fact that there are people out there.
Fair. That's very fair. Yeah, this fact that they've like, I mean, and that like I will give Lily the option of whether you want to like include that as part of the broadcast, because it does make further complications for Malphus, and for the city itself, right?
I would ask him. Like, I imagine we have some sort of communication, because that's how I'm getting the information to them to broadcast.
And Malphus has, I will go and tell you, Malphus has no problem with the truth coming out, especially about him.
Then yeah, I'm going to bundle all that in there as well.
Cool. Saraia is looking out for you and just misses the wrong way on one hallway. And just slipping in behind her. I think in anime style, we just see like sort of a shadow cross over Lily. And like as you're typing, you're like, "Is everything all right, Lily?" And then I'm gonna cut back to that in just a second.
Yes.
You rolled a 6, so like nothing bad.
Nothing catastrophic.
Right? But something interesting, because you did a poison promise. Janice and Malphus, you need to get control of the broadcast stuff.
Sweet.
Don't you have good analyze or such?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, totally. I'm happy to do it. I just wanted to make sure I gave you opportunity to elaborate on the point.
Very quickly, you have a bundle of data wired directly across your sort of pilot to pilot communication. I think they're like,
oh yeah.
You have, I mean, that is very much like a private network,
right?
For just you all, right? There's only like a handful of people, and it routes through the Argo rather than the city itself. So you'd feel relatively more secure. Yeah. So you have a bundle of info about Lily's becoming a pilot and all that, and this very, let's be honest, seditious broadcast is ready to go if you get it into the city's network and to the actual, just like, I mean, I'll leave it to y'all. Do y'all want to? You could straight up like get on camera and be on people's TVs and shit.
Yes,
if you wanted to.
Yes, and here's the flashback I was thinking of earlier. Okay. It works. Totally could support. So right at the end of Saraia and Janice presenting the plan to Persephone that we need some help so that Malphus can go throughout the city. Then after she has bought in and offered a way for that to work, then Janice says, I also have an ancillary request. Malphus did not kill the Leviathans, and he needs to tell the city in order for this to be calmed down. And the only way we can really do that to everyone is to broadcast it in a way that we are completely forbidden from doing. Do you have the means by which we could have somehow stolen it?
This is Persephone you're talking to?
Yes.
She does.
Okay, cool.
She at this point she's been supportive, and at this point it's like that's
okay.
I think she just grabs you and like, you need to be really careful if you're going to consider this. That's treason.
And Janice says, isn't it worth it if it prevents people from dying.
Well,
Well, then she says,
Right.
I'm
might
not
just
the
make things
best
worse.
one to ask about keeping people from dying. And then she just like goes back into
Mhm.
like her
Yeah.
rank and file, right?
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Snaps the salute and
Turns around.
Yep.
Craig, it seems like you were going to say something.
Yeah, just that. Is it really going to make things better, or is it going to make things worse?
let's find out.
Exactly. All right. So cool.
Yeah. So I think you could make a roll for like the actual quality of the way you express your words and get it across. You can make a roll for how well you get wired into the city's things.
Yeah.
There's lots of approaches here. So
Ooh,
wrap this up real quick.
sounds good. I have an idea.
Okay. Hit me.
Perhaps to make it more subtle, we time it with another broadcast that's going out. Piggyback.
Mhm.
So that the words are quiet at first. And people don't notice until they've actually been listening and paying attention to it. So instead of sharp cut, excuse me, right? We're getting over there, right? Malphus starts talking and it's too low for people to hear.
Oh,
And
but
then
they'll be able to
eventually-
go back and view the recording and get the
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So then eventually his voice rises in pitch. We slowly tighter it until the only thing people can hear is him. So they have that unconscious experience.
Conceptually, I love that.
Okay.
Tell me what the role is.
Sure. I think analyze or flow. Flow would be with piggybacking. I think analyze
Conceal?
with conceal. Okay. Conceal works for me. Yeah, totally.
Take 2
Yeah,
extra
that's
dice
excellent.
there,
Good call.
Ralph.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to take 2 stress to do it because you're my rival, but
Yes.
Oh,
Sweet.
Janice, you got an assist earlier. Did you clear a stress from it?
I did. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And let's see, because we really want this to work. Do with 4. Yeah. I think I'll push
Wait,
myself
Malphus,
for
are you-
greater effect.
Malphus, are you assisting or spending a link?
I am assisting.
Okay.
So Janice will also be able to clear some stress.
Sweet. And then I would like to push myself for extra effect.
Okay.
You're going to stack this. Please roll well.
take
Yeah, this is going to be
stress.
risky. Great.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And I get 2 dice. Excellent. Come on. 5.
5.
Oh.
All right.
So how it goes?
The consequence here is
Mhm.
that you are. Stop me if you've heard this one before. You're discovered in the process.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And this is an actual consequence.
Okay. Yep.
And you're able to like get your whole message recorded and broadcast, and it starts like looping and getting more and more intense and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Sweet.
So you fully succeed at what you were doing, right? That's
Of
how.
course, yeah.
That's how
That's how it
it
works.
success
Yep.
works, right?
Mhm.
You get
Yep.
what you wanted out of the role.
Yep.
And I think you probably were pretty confident this was going to happen at some point, right?
Yeah.
You are facing down several guards with guns.
Yep.
And and I just lost my notes. Xantippe. And on her like very like you put together that like the traditional togas is like the elites, the leaders of the city have been wearing these
Mhm.
Yes.
as cultural signifiers for even the mechanic one, and that golden apple is there. And in both scenes, smash cut to like a split down the middle.
Yes.
Lily says, "Everything all right back there, Lily?" Or back there, Saraia? And in an otherworldly voice, warbly with sort of like underwater effect, ringing with noise that hurts your ears. Just what do you all think you're doing? I've been having so much fun while you were gone. And you all know there is a Leviathan in the city.
Yep.
And that's where we're gonna end it tonight.
All right.
I'll ask a question off camera.
Okay.
Because it's more mechanical.
Yeah. God, I'm excited.
This is good.
So good.
This is good.
This is real good.
We didn't get as far into it as I thought we would, but
This is so good.
a lot of good
This is
things.
good, though.
Happened.
Yeah.
It was a good session for sure.
This is real good.
I'm just gonna effuse about my players being very good role players, and I like your choices that you make. I hope that you all out there have enjoyed the session as much as we did. And if you want to come talk about it with us on Discord, hit us up at eatinto.space. If you want to join the members of our Patreon in monetarily supporting us as we get some cool art made for our shows and make some tech upgrades and stuff like that, check us out at on our Patreon at staylucky.club is the link for that one. Almost lost my brain there. And we just, I hope you have a great weekend, and as we head into finally portion of the year that is no longer a billion goddamn degrees.
85.
For some of us.
The sun has set. It is 85 Fahrenheit.
Okay, so
Some of us live on the surface of the sun, so it's,
I mean, I get that it's hot, but it's also like what's on the tin.
yeah.
Yep.
Don't be on the tin in Texas. You'll burn. But thank you all, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And as always, stay magical.
Everybody.
Yeah.